In a distant galaxy, on a war-torn planet named I-4, an alien army known as the Vrilk was preparing for another battle. Their forces, vast and mighty, had conquered countless worlds and wiped out civilizations with ease. The Vrilk were known for their advanced technology and brutal military tactics. However, nothing could prepare them for the day they would encounter something they never anticipated: a human. The Vrilk general, Shorik, stood tall on a rocky cliff overlooking the battlefield. His sharp, red eyes scanned the horizon, focusing on the latest batch of soldiers brought in to join the fight. Among them, one soldier caught his attention, a weak, scrawny being who had no resemblance to the mighty Vrilk warriors. This human, clad in a patchwork of armor and worn-out clothes, barely seemed capable of holding a weapon. Shorak chuckled, a low, rumbling sound that echoed through the battlefield. His many lieutenants, standing beside him, looked at the human soldier with disgust. The general couldn't help but mock the creature before him. "Is this what you call a warrior?" Shorak sneered. "What will this fragile, weak thing do in battle? Perhaps it will be a good distraction for our enemies, if nothing else." His lieutenants laughed along with him, as the human soldier stood, eyes determined, but his body trembling with fear. The other soldiers, alien and human alike, cast uneasy glances at him. No one expected much from this human, especially with their army's fearsome reputation. "General, he is nothing but a human," one of the lieutenants said, his voice dripping with disdain. "They are hardly worth the time." Shorak's laugh died down, but his amusement remained. He turned away, signaling for the battle to begin. The Vrilk soldiers charged forward, weapons glowing with deadly energy. The human soldier, though frightened, took his place among the ranks. His name was Marcus, a simple soldier from Earth, sent to fight in a war that was not his own. He had no idea how he ended up on Sephor, but he knew one thing: he was not going to die here. As the battle raged, Marcus stumbled through the chaos. The aliens were fierce, their movements swift and their weapons deadly. He dodged lasers and narrowly avoided the powerful strikes from the Vrilk. At first, his attempts to fight were futile. He wasn't trained for this, and he felt weak compared to the other soldiers. But there was something in him that refused to give up. Shorak watched the battle unfold from the safety of his command post, amused at how easily his soldiers were cutting through the humans. He saw Marcus again, stumbling and struggling, but still trying to hold his ground. "Pathetic," Shorak muttered to himself. "This one will be the first to fall." But then something strange happened. Marcus, in a moment of desperation, grabbed a fallen Vrilk weapon, a sword-like blade that hummed with power. The moment he touched it, something inside him seemed to awaken. His hands clenched tighter around the hilt, and a strange energy coursed through him. With a single swift movement, Marcus swung the blade at a nearby Vrilk soldier, slicing through the alien's armor with ease. The Vrilk soldier stumbled back, clutching his chest in shock, and fell to the ground. Shorak's eyes narrowed as he saw the human warrior take down one of his own. This wasn't supposed to happen. Human soldiers were weak, helpless, and easily defeated. Yet here was this one, standing tall with the sword of a Vrilk warrior in hand. Marcus didn't hesitate. He continued to fight, his movements growing more confident with every strike. Another Vrilk soldier lunged at him, but he sidestepped, bringing the sword down hard on the alien's weapon, breaking it in half. With a quick motion, Marcus drove the blade into the soldier's chest, ending its life. The battlefield, which had once seemed like an impossible challenge, was starting to turn in his favor. Marcus was no longer the scared, weak soldier from before. He had become something more, something different. The Vrilk general watched in stunned silence as his soldiers fell before the human's blade. How could this be? How could a weak, insignificant human be causing such destruction? The Vrilk were supposed to be unstoppable, but here, on the battlefield, they were being outmatched by a single human. "Impossible?" Shorak growled. "He should have been defeated by now. What is this?" The human Marcus fought like a warrior, like someone who had nothing to lose. His movements were precise, his strikes powerful. He was more than a soldier. He was a force to be reckoned with. Ak's mind raced. What had happened? How was this human able to do the impossible? In that moment, Marcus locked eyes with the Vrilk general. Shorak felt a chill run down his spine. There was something in the human's gaze, a determination, a fire that the Vrilk had never seen before. It was the same fire that had ignited the human's strength, and it was now burning brighter than ever. Without thinking, Marcus charged at the general, his sword raised high. Shorak barely had time to react. The battle raged around him, but Marcus was unstoppable, cutting through anything in his way. The alien general finally raised his hand to defend himself, but it was too late. With one final strike, Marcus slashed at Shorak's armor, and it shattered like glass, revealing the alien's weak flesh beneath. The Vrilk general stumbled back in shock, clutching his side as the pain surged through him. "No, this can't be," Shorak gasped. Marcus stood tall over him, his breath heavy but steady. "You're wrong," Marcus said, his voice calm and filled with conviction. "Humans are stronger than you think." The battlefield was silent. The Vrilk soldiers, seeing their general defeated by a mere human, froze in shock. The tide of the battle had shifted. The once powerful army of the Vrilk was now being overwhelmed by the strength and determination of the humans. Shorak, the mighty general, lay on the ground, defeated by the very thing he had mocked. The once mighty Vrilk forces began to retreat, their confidence shattered. In that moment, Marcus knew something he hadn't understood before. It wasn't the strength of the body that mattered. It was the strength of the will. Humans had a fire inside them, a determination that no army could break. The Vrilk learned that day that they had underestimated the power of humanity, and Marcus, the human soldier, had just shown them that humans were not to be taken lightly. The war had just begun, and the Vrilk were about to learn that humanity had much more to offer than they ever expected.